So
Okay, very good. Well, welcome and thank you to those who've been able to join in this afternoon to the Franklin County IDA meeting. We will begin with roll call. Maria, could you lead out with that?
Sure thing. Gary Boyer is not here. Oh, I see we just had Justin Miller join. Let me just log him in. Hi, Justin. Okay. So Sherry is absent. Michael Doran,
Present.
James Ellis is not here as of right now. Stephen Erman is absent. Madeline Fleury,
Present.
Justice Martin,
Present.
and Archie McKee.
Here.
Okay, and Jim Ellis, is that you that just joined us?
That's me.
Okay, we do have a quorum.
Thank you.
All right, very good. We'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
I'll make a motion. We accept the agenda.
Do we have a second?
Second, Jim Ellis.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, any public comments? So if not, we'll move on to entertain a motion to approve the minutes from August 11th, 2021.
So moved, Jim Ellis.
In a second.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, bills and communications.
none to share.
Okay, any committee reports for the IDA today?
Nope.
All right, so what's the latest with the treasurer's report?
The latest with the treasurer's report. So we have for the IDA, we have current assets, total assets of $1.784 million. We have liabilities of, where's the liabilities? Can't remember where the liabilities are. You have them in your pack. Where are they? Well,
It's on page,
page.
the same page as the assets.
Oh, so what are you asking me for, Justice? You're doing a better job than me. That's our total assets is 1.748. Our total liabilities are 24,435. On our profit and loss comparison report, you can see that we've got total expenses for the month of $15,000 and about the same in income. As far as our profit and loss versus compared to our budget, this is we made a change to our report, which makes this a lot more accurate than it was in previous months. It was driving me crazy, but we're right on target now. You can see that for a lot of our budget line items, we're about where we should be as far as where we are in the year. But if you look at salaries and employee benefits and some of those types of things, we've kind of expended in that 60% range of the budget. Everything else, we're either, we're well below what we budgeted, and nothing surprising as far as our profit and loss compared to the budget. Did we just lose Justice? Is he still there? There he is. Okay.
Entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved. I'll make that motion.
Yep, I've got Archie. We're looking for a second.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. So let me see, I lost track here.
You're up to old and unfinished.
All right, so let's, there's no old and unfinished. So let's, go to new business. We got some resolutions to look at. First of all, we have the public hearing though. Jeremy, can you take us with that?
So just wanted to announce in the meeting, I can't remember if we shared it with everybody, but wanted to announce in the meeting that we were holding a public hearing for the Salmon River Renewables and Bangor solar projects that are proposed for the town of Bangor. Those are going to be held at 4 o'clock on Monday, September 20th at the Bangor Community Center. And so this is a opportunity for the public to hear about the proposed suite of benefits for those two solar projects that the board has previously looked at. Board attendance is not required, but any time that you want to attend those public hearings, we certainly welcome it. So just wanted to put that on your calendar.
Okay, very good. So that leads us to resolution 2021-20 concerning the Church Street bond. Jeremy, why don't we do a first and a second to bring it to the table, and then we can discuss it. Do we have a
Motion that we
first?
bring it-
Okay, Archie. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Jeremy, could you give us the update on this and
Yes, thank you. Earlier this summer, well, it was in the spring actually, we received an application from Church Street NY LLC for benefits for a proposed project to purchase and renovate the Don E. Smith Apartments in the village of Tupper Lake. Later in the spring, the board approved an initial resolution allowing us to begin negotiations with the company to figure out what benefits would be appropriate for this project. And those benefits include a proposed bonds to help with the tax exempt bonds to help with the purchase of the property and to finance the renovations, a sales tax exemption, a mortgage recording tax exemption, and a 35-year payment in lieu of taxes agreement. Because the 35-year proposed pilot exceeds the IDA's uniform tax exemption policy, it requires consenting resolutions from each of the affected taxing jurisdictions. In this case, it would be the village of Tupper Lake, the town of Tupper Lake, the Tupper Lake Central School District, and Franklin County. And so over the summer, I worked with all of those jurisdictions, and they each, I think most of them were in July, approved consent resolutions in accordance with our tax exemption policy. The last one, and it wasn't last for any other reason that we timed it as such, was Franklin County reviewed a resolution and approved it last week. We also conducted a public hearing a couple weeks ago. You're aware of that. We had one member of the public present. That was Supervisor Littlefield from the town of Tupper Lake. She was supportive of the project, and we received no other written or verbal public comment from our public hearing process. So in front of you today is what's called an authorizing resolution. This is the resolution that would, if it's approved, authorizes myself and our counsel, Justin Miller, who's on the call, if you have any very specific questions about how all this works, to move ahead working with the company to close on these proposed benefits. Just as a reminder, what the project is specifically, it's approximately 50 unit apartment complex right in the village of Tupper Lake. It houses seniors and some folks who are disabled, and they're all rent subsidized apartments. They will continue to be rent subsidized apartments, and I think they're all one bedroom units. And so the company purchasing the property is hoping to do a pretty extensive renovation. They'll come in and renovate all of the apartments, the kitchens and bathrooms, I believe, and also do interior and exterior building improvements, common area renovations and improvements. From what I hear from the folks in Tupper Lake and also the developers, there has never been a real renovation on this property since it was built, and nobody remembers when it was built. One final thing I will mention is that this project is currently subject to a payment in lieu of taxes agreement with the town of Tupper Lake. And I believe that, I can't remember if that was a 15-year pilot agreement that the town of Tupper Lake had negotiated with the current owner. If this resolution passes, the new pilot agreement would make that current agreement with the town of Tupper Lake null and void, and this supersedes that. I shared with everyone the proposed kind of the cost benefit summary, that if you have any specific questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But in general, what we tried to do is to make sure that from day one, the new pilot payment is higher than what it would have been under the existing pilot payment. There's a 2% escalator each year in the pilot payment. And there's also kind of I can't remember amount, there's just a bump up at 10 years and 20 years. Other than that, it's 35 years. It's fairly straightforward as far as what the payments are going to be. And what we did share with all of the taxing jurisdictions, which is always, we have to make sure we're doing a really good job with this, is making sure that the taxing jurisdictions understand approximately what they stand to get as a percentage of the overall pilot payment, because the percentage is based on the tax rate of each jurisdiction. And so in Franklin County and all of New York, the school districts always get the highest percentage of any pilot payment, because the tax rate of the school district is the highest of all the jurisdictions for any one single piece of property. But that was shared on page 2 of the cost benefit analysis that was shared with the taxing jurisdictions, which is posted on our website and also shared with all of you. That's the, I don't know how long that took. That was a 2 or 3 minute synopsis of where we've been to and what this resolution would do if approved. And other than that, I would open it up for any questions either to me or to Justin. Or you could.
Jeremy, this is our, where does the negotiation stand with the taxing entities as far as the pilot program? Are they all in acceptance of it, or are negotiations ongoing?
No, they are all in acceptance, and they've all approved consenting resolutions. They were all in July, except for the county, which was last week. So they have all approved the proposed schedule and terms.
Thank you.
Good question.
Any more questions or discussion? Okay, we have a first and a second. Maria, could you do a roll call on this resolution?
Sure. So this is for resolution 2021-20. Sherry Boye is absent. Michael Doran,
Yes, I approve.
James Ellis,
Yes.
Stephen Ehrman is absent. Madeline Fleury,
Yes, I approve.
Justice Martin,
Yes.
and Archie McKee.
Yes.
Okay, resolution is adopted.
All right, that takes us to resolution 2021-21 concerning Chattagay site number 1. Why don't we have a first and a second to bring this to the table?
I'll make a motion to bring it.
Michael second.
Okay, I've got Archie and Mike.
Yes. Jeremy, could you give us the update on this resolution?
Sure. So we have. If I may, I'll describe both of these resolutions together, just as far as what the project is. So these are what we call initial resolutions. I don't know if there's a different name, but we call them initial resolutions for the proposed development of a community solar projects in the town of Chattagay on Route 11. These are being undertaken by Norbut Solar Farms. We've got, as you saw, we've got the Norbut Solar team on the call. And if you feel appropriate, Justice, if any board members have specific questions about the specifics of the project, I'm sure they'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I think they're happy to listen in. So it's up to your discretion, but they're developing a 129-acre piece of property in the town of Chattagay, but they'll be breaking this project into 2 parts and subdividing the property eventually. That's why there's two projects and 2 resolutions. So the first is site number 1, and it's a 5 megawatt project. And what the initial resolution does is says we've received and accepted an application for benefits, and then the initial resolution authorizes myself, Justice Justin Miller, to officially enter into negotiations with the company and come up with a proposed list of benefits that are appropriate for the project. And if and when we get to that point, we would then schedule a public hearing. This resolution authorizes us to go ahead and schedule a public hearing when we believe we've got a negotiated terms. And it's kind of that same pattern as after if we get to that point and there's a public hearing at some point in the future, we would return with an authorizing resolution. So today's resolution just says we've accepted this application. We think this is a project that's worth pursuing, and we're authorizing the staff and our council to begin negotiations.
So the The resolution 21 and 22 are the same. They're just two different sites.
Correct. The site number 1 is a 5 acre or 5 megawatt project. And I think site number 2 is, can't remember exactly, says it in 4.4 megawatts.
Okay.
Are these properties adjoining or adjacent to each other?
Good question. It's one single tax parcel right now, 129 acre property that will be subdivided, Archie. So right now it's one property, but then there'll be subdivided adjacent parcels.
And where will the power that's created go?
So this is and anyone who knows more about this than me is welcome to chime in, but this is a community solar project, which means the power generated is able to be purchased by residential and commercial users. I don't remember the term. There's a kind of a geographic area, and I believe this is NYSEG territory. So anyone in the upstate, northeastern part of New York State, in NYSEG territory would be able to purchase this power through a program, and I don't remember the name of it, and get so you're able to buy green energy, renewable energy, and get a nice little discount on your power bill as a result.
Maybe
So,
somebody from Norba would like to speak a brief overview to the board.
So will the power be sold to the grid?
Yeah, it goes to the grid, yes.
Okay, and who benefits from the sale of the power to the grid?
Hi, this is Kevin Helton, CFO in Orbit. Basically, it's a community distributed generation program. So the off-takers was the word, Jeremy, I think we were looking for. Basically, the customers that sign up to be contracted with the solar company to purchase power. They get up to 10% discount on the bill for doing so. And the proceeds of that obviously go into the solar array or into the solar company for our compensation for building it. And we're talking about spending $12 million to build the site. And our return on investment is our piece of the power fees and charges that go to the consumers, whether they be commercial or residential.
Is there an existing list of people that want to purchase the power or organizations that want to purchase the power?
A list? We do not have a list of that. First we have to get the project fully approved before we go out and start soliciting. We can't really solicit before we actually know if this project is going to be accepted, from the town and also the IDA's perspective here.
Will this designated cheaper power be first available to North Country residents?
Yes, the territory is Zone D, which is NYSEG, which is Chateaugay, within Franklin County, the area right up in the North Country. We can't sell power to like the windmills hooked up to the transmission lines because we're hooked up to distribution lines. We need to be selling power to distribution customers, not to transmission utilities. So we can't sell power from Chateaugay to Buffalo, New York, even though they have NYSEG. It doesn't matter. We can't sell them the power. So it's why it's called community distribution, is because it really is affecting the community that the solar projects are in.
Now, the village of Malone has a solar farm, and that power is used to pay bills with National Grid. Will the Chateauguay municipality have that option?
Chateaugay's municipality has the option for any and all of its buildings and or anything that's on the electrical grid to, be a subscriber to the service if they deem choose to. Yes, it's anybody that's really in the community can, sign up to the service at no cost and no cost to break up either. So if someone chooses that, they don't like the solar farm for some reason, or their friend started their own or whatever, that they could cancel at any time for no charge.
Yeah, they do pay for the power at the discounted rate, but there's no subscription fee up front and no subscription fee and no cancellation fee to opt out of the program after you have opted in. But they do pay for power, but at a discount.
Will this farm be tax exempt?
I'm sorry, tax exempt? Well, no, we're asking the IDA for a pilot. The town of Chateauguay is a very interesting town because it is mainly comprised, 99.5% comprised, all their taxes are collected under what's called special districts. So the town tax and the pro rata share is extremely small, 0.3% of the pro rata share of total tax, but their real collection will be under the special districts.
So Archie, that's the subject of, your question is not yet determined. I mean, this resolution and what the application from the Norwood folks is saying is we have a proposed project and we're seeking some tax relief for this project. We're coming to the IDA for that relief. What that looks like has not yet been determined. By adopting the resolution, you're authorizing myself and Justin and Norwood Solar Farms to actually discuss the specifics. So until the resolution is adopted, there's not a specific answer to your question. That would come later with the authorizing resolution. Does that help?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion?
I just have a question. Are there other sites that you're reviewing, maybe not in Franklin County, but in the local or surrounding areas?
When you say reviewing, I mean, we have, over 100 megawatts built sites anywhere from Tioga to Danby. We're proposing a site. We have sites in Parma. We have sites in Chameau. We have sites in Angelica and in Belfast. So we have quite a bit of projects out in New York State.
Okay, very good. Any other questions? I was wondering if there's a way we could do the roll call on both of these resolutions since they're the same. We want to redo the motion to bring both of them to the table and then roll call them both.
Justice, Jim Ellis calling.
Yep. Yeah, Jim.
I've had experience with this kind of thing before, and since they're two separate parcels or will be, I think we should do it separately.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
So we have a first and a second on site number 1. Maria, go ahead with the roll call on.
Okay, this is for resolution 2021-21, Chateauguay site number 1 LLC. Sherry Boyer is absent. Michael Doran.
Yes, I approve.
James Ellis,
Yes.
Stephen Ehrman is absent. Madeline Fleury,
Yes, I approve.
Justice Martin,
Yes.
Archie McKee.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 2021-21 is adopted.
Okay, that leads us to resolution 2021-22 on Chattagay site number 2. We have a first and a second to bring it to the table.
I'll make
Jim
the
Ellis,
motion
I
to
move.
bring- Second.
So I've got Jim and Archie.
Okay. Any questions or discussions on this site? Okay. Maria, go ahead with the roll call on resolution number 22.
Okay, so roll call for 2021-22. Sherry Boye is absent. Michael Doran,
Yes, I approve.
James Ellis,
Yes.
Stephen Ehrman is absent. Madeline Fleury,
Yes, I approve.
Justice Martin,
Yes.
and Archie McKee.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 22 is adopted.
Okay, very good.
Thank you, everyone.
So,
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you
Joining.
for joining us. All right, any public comments before we entertain a motion to adjourn? Our next meeting is October 13th, 2021. The location will be announced. So we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Jim Ellis.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting's adjourned. We'll go right into the Franklin County LDC meeting. I assume some have left the meeting. Do you need to do roll call again, Maria, or are you set?
No, I marked that they left at the end of the meeting, all the Norbut team. We still have everybody else to my knowledge. Yep.
Okay. So we'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
Make a motion, we accept the agenda.
Second, Jim Ellis.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, any public comments? We will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from August 11th, 2021.
I'll make a motion, we accept the meeting minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, any bills and communications?
No.
Any committee reports for the LDC?
No, I don't think so.
Let's see. All right, so it leads us to treasurer's report.
I'm gonna try this again. For the LDC, our assets are $3.21 million. Our liabilities are $179,000 for this month. As far as total income for the month, it was $5,595. Total expenses was $29,000 for a net income of minus $24,000 for August. As far as our budget, or actual expenses compared to the budget, in some cases we are right on target. Other cases we're in some expenses we've got very little actual expenses so far, and in a couple places we're at or exceed the budget, such as disability insurance, and it's not a huge amount, so it's nothing that's really worrisome. We just have to make sure we budget better for it next year. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
Second, Jim Ellis.
Any discussion or questions? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right. Treasurer's report is approved. That leads us to new business. We have the resolution 2021-26 approving the Malone Main Street grant recipients. We have a first and a second to bring this to the table.
I make a motion, we
Make a
bring,
motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we've got Archie and Madeline.
Okay. Jeremy, could you give us an update on this?
As you recall, we received a $400,000 New York Main Street grant for downtown Malone. We solicited applications from property owners to do renovations to their buildings and receive grant funding to assist with that. We received 3 applications. We had a review committee take a look at all of them. We have enough funding to be able to award all 3. And what this resolution does is authorizes us to move ahead with issuing award letters, executing contracts with these owners to move projects ahead. We in the past have not, in this resolution, shared the names of the recipients. We do that later once they actually, we actually do a little bit more work to sign commitment letters and stuff like that. Because sometimes they just don't, it just doesn't work out for a variety of reasons. So, but we still want and need board authorization to sign agreements and disperse funds, even though it's grant funds, it's coming through the LDC. So you have that right and obligation. I can't remember if I saw it, but Phil should be sending the board a list of those projects, so you know what they are. And again, we'll advertise those once commitment letters are signed and we know that the projects will happen. But this resolution allows us to take the next steps in administering the program.
Just a
Jeremy, are
question.
there any-
I just had one quick question. Did since it's a $400,000 award, did all the applicants that applied, will that use up that whole funding, or will there still be some?
It will not use up all of it. And there's also a certain amount, I believe $60,000 that was set aside for streetscape improvements. and there's some set aside for administrative funds. So yeah, it won't, the entire 400,000 does not go to the 3 projects.
You know, that was exactly my question. Thank you. You know how much might be left over? Is it worth somebody applying, or is it too late to apply, or what?
No, we would certainly accept an application from someone and take a look at it, and either, you know, because sometimes projects don't happen, like I was saying earlier, and it'd be good to have someone ready in the wings, or depending on what their project is and how much we do have remaining in funds that we can allocate, we could certainly take a look at awarding that to them. So yes is the answer. They can certainly reach out to us. Phil and the Insight Architecture team have reached out and extensively to all of the eligible property owners in that area, and so they all know about it. And 3 put in some pretty good applications, and but that doesn't mean that'll be the end. If we have additional funds because one of the projects doesn't go or doesn't use as much as they were awarded, then we'd certainly want to find other projects to do.
Okay, great.
Okay, very good. So we had a first and a second. Why don't we go ahead with a roll call for this
Sure.
resolution?
So this is for resolution 2021-26. Sherry Boye is absent. Michael Doran,
Yes, I approve.
James Ellis, we missed it, Jim. Can you say it again?
Yes.
Thank you. Steve Ehrman is absent. Madeline Fleury,
Yes, I approve.
Justice Martin,
Yes.
and Archie McKee.
Yes.
Resolution 26 is adopted.
Okay, very good. Are we in need of any executive sessions?
I am not.
So if are there any comments, public comments? The date of next meeting is October. Go ahead.
I was wondering where we stood on the MCM and their possible, well, what do you call it? Well, for lack of a better term, loan reorganizations. Is that proceeding, or is that?
Well, let's Archie, why don't you offer up a motion to go into executive session, and we can discuss that.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
That is for, let me just bring up so we can state the reasoning for that.
Would be the purpose of discussing a particular corporation,
Yes.
probably.
Yep.
First and the second on the executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right, so we are in executive session. We'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Have a second?
I got
Jim Ellis.
Archie and Madeline on that one.
Okay, all right, great. Okay, very good. Thank you, everybody.
All right,
All right,
have a great
thanks.
day. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you. Thanks, Justin and everybody.